Hello to anyone who's watching. I've never done a narration video on YouTube before, so this is a little weird, but hello, welcome to my voice, welcome to my room. Ever since I moved in, I always wanted to just paint something on the wall, but I didn't know what I wanted to paint, so for the past few years I've just settled for hanging my paintings on the wall, just to have something that's mine in the room. And then now, since we're on quarantine, I have absolutely nothing to do, so I decided, why not now? So I took about like a week to design the mural. I was going through Google, Twitter, just looking at a whole bunch of different art posts and stuff, trying to find some idea. And once I got the skull idea, like immediately I thought of, oh, okay, the flowers need to grow out, there needs to be water, like everything just came in within a second. And I sat down, I drew out various thumbnails of how I wanted it to be, and then when I finally settled on the one that I wanted, which you're looking at, I drew it out on tracing paper. Quick little disclaimer, please excuse my shorts. I do not know why I decided to wear booty shorts and then put the laptop on the floor just completely up my ass, but please excuse that. So before I get into explaining how I got it up on the wall and everything, I guess I'll explain where the image comes from. So I've been really into tarot cards and tarot readings ever since like the late summer of 2019, and I've just been thrown into the realm of spirituality, so it's been pretty fun. So for this, I was thinking of a tarot card, like if I was to make my own, what would it be? And essentially, I pretty much, like, to explain, I spent most of my teenage lives like in ups and downs with depression, figuring out who I am as a person, who my family is or are, like who they are, and to understand how that works with my personality, my home, the town I live in, just everything. And I wanted to put all of that all into one design. So the mural is called, or titled, Strength Yet to Be, and it consists of all my favorite things that I love to draw. Like, I'm obsessed with drawing roses and skulls, don't know why. I'm very drawn to the moon and the ocean. Like, whenever I see the moon or we go to the beach, I just have this immediate sense of feeling at home, so I wanted that included into the drawing.
Try to act like I don't notice, trying desperately not to feel a thing, 'cause all I feel is pain.
So the three main roses represents the past, present, and future. Each one becomes bigger and more lively as they grow. The wilted rose that's coming out of the eye socket of the skull represents the past, like all the troubles that I've went through and just feeling completely just beaten down. And the little new budding roses that are like right above the skull, right in the center, represents new possibilities, new outcomes, just anything new that just isn't there yet. And then the rose that it's facing you represents who I am now. Like, as I'm 21, I've never felt more confident in myself as I do now. So that rose represents that. Like, there's still some troubles. Like, if you notice, that rose is the only one with thorns, so it represents like I still have some working outs to do, like I still got shit I need to work on, so there's still gonna be some thorns, some like rude, mean moments in me, but that's just me figuring out who I am. And then the last rose that's facing towards the moon, the biggest one, represents who I want to be in a visual sense. I intentionally wanted this rose to be the biggest and to be facing away towards the moon, because this is like strength in the future. You don't know what that looks like yet, so you can only imagine. So yeah, all 3 roses just represents me at different stages in my life on a visual sense.
It's so easy to give in, to self-doubt. I freak out when I don't mean to. I'm overthinking. Busy mind, it never slows down. I always stop to think if I'm a bad person for being angry at the ones who wrong me. And my anxiety, I'm spinning in circles and I can't seem to slow.
This is definitely by far the biggest thing that I've ever painted. Like, the biggest thing that I've really painted was a canvas that came up to my stomach. Nothing this huge. And I just woke up and decided one day, go big or go home. So, oh, and also all of this was recorded on my tiny little laptop, which explains the quality. I'm way too broke for a camera. Obviously, if I had a camera, I would have used it, but I have to work with what I got, so.
Self-doubt, I freak out when I don't mean to. I'm overthinking. It's just me, I'm overthinking. Polarizing.
I wish I recorded how I got the outline of the drawing on there. So I was so excited to do it. I didn't even think about recording until I got the paint out. But after I got done with the thumbnails, I got out my tracing paper, retraced the drawing onto the tracing paper, and then I have like this what is it, for packaging prints? It's like it's essentially a see-through paper, and I traced it onto that through the tracing paper with a Sharpie. A lot of tracing in this, I know. And then once I got that completed, I don't have a little stand or pedestal to hang anything, so I had to literally get a pants hanger, clip it onto the edges of the translucent paper, tape that to my guitar stand, and then set that up in the middle of my room. And then I have an extra lamp in here, so I just took up the lamp, set it behind the drawing, and then it was projected onto the ceiling, and then I just quickly drew it as it was up there, and then went to bed, and then woke up the next day and started painting.
I freak out when I don't mean to. I'm overthinking. It's just me, I'm overthinking. The air's getting thick now, yeah, and it's heavy. The clouds are gray above me. Make me move how you want to. Do you enjoy all the scars you made me bleed through? Shocking, oh yeah, you took it to heart. You don't try to let me down.
Now with water, I never ever in my life painted realistic water before. I don't even think I painted water at all before. So I don't know what in my brain told me to paint an ocean on my wall, but I can't go back now. So I'm just gonna have to learn as I go. You can see me redoing it a few times. If you saw my niece in there, my little 3-year-old niece, she comes over every weekend, so I don't paint when she's here because it's just too much. But she was there, like when you see me redo it a few times, I was just not in the mood to be painting, and then I just kept getting frustrated, which is why I kept redoing it. Like, it kept coming out as Blue Mountain, and I'm trying to make it look like waves, and it just looks like Blue Mountain. So I was like, alright, I'm not doing this. So I took a little break, and I'm still, like, I've stopped painting for now. Like, these are from 2 weeks ago, these videos, and I've been taking the time in between to actually practice the brush strokes and like how to get it to look realistic. It's still gonna take me some time, which is why I'm taking this huge break before I burn myself out.
Some days I'm numb while I'm healing, and you're there when it comes around. When it comes around.
So I redid the ocean a couple of times because I didn't have a plan when I did the drafting, I just painted that part of the paper blue and figured I'll figure it out when I get there.
I'm locked from the inside, and it just won't sit right. Right, just to keep it in my reach, to control what's mine. My worries are my key. Try to focus on one thing, but you get me every time.
This is my very first passion project, so I just wanted to paint and see what I could come up with. It's been a long process and a learning process, so you're literally watching me figure it out as I go along. This has been quite the experience. I knew I wanted to do something with my room, and it took a couple years to really decide what exactly I wanted to do. And since painting this, it really brought life into my room. So anyway, I'm kind of glad for quarantine giving me the time to do this, because in between working and school, there was just no time to do this. So I went on quarantine, I ended up quitting my job, never going back to Amazon again. Never working there again. So once I quit, I just had all the time that I needed to work on it, and that's just what I've been doing in between classes.
Through closed eyes, and I'm seeing a good view. With time it feels too late. Can't get off my mind, 'cause I'm running in circles through a conscious state.
To figure out how I wanted the waves to look, I've been looking at a lot of YouTube videos to see how other artists would approach it. I've been watching a lot of Bob Ross. I downloaded countless photos of different types of waves crashing onto the tide just to see how the white water would look, how the sun reflects off the top of it, everything, like down to every detail. I needed to know how all of it would look so I could apply it to my painting. And so far, all of the paintings of the ocean that I did so far are great, but it just didn't feel right. Because since I was depending on other YouTube videos to try and apply that to my own, when I look back at it, it didn't feel like something that I created.
Despite what I say, you really don't feel the fall until you see you've lost it all. Don't let me fall away.
And I don't really mind that I redid it so much, because every time I redid it, I learned something new, I gained more technique, more knowledge about it, so I don't mind it at all that I redid it so many times. I'm learning as I go.
Wake me if the light leaves my
One thing that painting this has really taught me is that you really have to be in the right headspace. It's a weird thing where you can create the most beautiful stuff when you're in your deepest pain, but sometimes that pain is just too much. And when you keep trying to force yourself to create, you're just not gonna like the process, you're not gonna like the outcome, so it's better to just stop and think about it, give yourself some time, and then come back and try it again.
Shots of bliss and misery, drunk off the pain and your blood flow, your blood runs so slow. A feathered heart sliding, and I'm just too nice to be devious. Only the hollow do the things that you do. Try to fill your vacancy with what you please, but not me. 'Cause I'm on my own, I'm in control. Baby, I know you won't forget.
Around this time, I was in a really dark place because I allowed a fucking asshole to play me. And because I was in such a dark place, I just was really trying to force myself to just try to get out of bed, try to do something. And every time I picked up a paintbrush during that time, I just hated what I was painting. So if you're ever in that position where you're trying to force yourself, it's not gonna work. So just take the time to pace yourself. And by the way, all of the songs that you're hearing are all by me. Selfless plug. I wrote the lyrics, I produced the song myself, I recorded it. So I'm hoping that I can finish my songs. I have a couple that are finished now that I'm working on to upload onto here. This was the purpose of this YouTube channel, to upload my art, my makeup, and my songs. So once I get to a place where I'm happy with all of my songs, I'll start uploading videos of them on here so you guys can check them out. But yeah, this is my music.